The Canadian men's national team returned to Canada and delivered Jesse Marsch his very first victory on home soil with a 2-1 win over Panama. It was not the prettiest match you will ever see, but there were definitely a lot of takeaways, so let's get into them now. Now let's begin with my very first takeaway, and that is that this was a game of two halves. Now I don't by any stretch think that Canada were impressive throughout this match, but in the first half they were doing really well with their press, they were winning the ball in dangerous areas, they did really well to get in dangerous positions, but just made the wrong decision in that final third. But throughout the match, Panama made it very difficult for Canada to really get into a groove, find their rhythm. They continuously broke up the play, and then once the second half came, Panama actually found the front foot and they were taking the game to Canada. And at one point I actually thought that once they leveled things up that they were actually probably going to go on and win the match. But Canada were able to find a way, they have the quality to do so, and they were able to pick up the 2-1 win. It was sloppy, it was not pretty. Jesse Marsch will have a lot to look at from this game, but at the end of the day, wins matter and we picked up a 2-1 victory. For my second takeaway, we are looking at Moise Bombito, who was the man of the match. He is simply incredible. There was 4 times that a Panamanian attacker had at least 2-3 steps on him, and Bombito can make that recovery run to win the ball back. And more importantly, he does so not fouling the player. There was a couple times as well where he made a great challenge and he looked at the crowd and he was fired right up. He is just simply phenomenal to watch. I tweeted about him 3-4 times throughout this match. I noticed him. I know a lot of you guys did as well. And just watching him week in, week out get better and better. And there's no wonder and why his story is so incredible, seeing where he was to where he is now, thriving in Ligue 1 with Nice. He deserves it. He deserves the credit. He was my player of the match for sure, and I really enjoyed his performance. For my third takeaway, I'm looking at Jonathan David, who I thought was solid all match long. I thought he was up there with a Bombito type performance, but not quite. If Bombito was a 9.5, David was, I thought, like an 8.5. I noticed it in the first half. I thought he was really good dropping deep, combining with players. And I know that he's one of the best pressing strikers in world football, but a really underrated part of his game is how he just goes into areas. He links up really well. And I noticed that when Canada was creating anything in that first half, it was really coming through David. I know the second half was difficult at times, but when it mattered, Jonathan David shows what he can do and do well. And that's, he received the ball, he made a nice pass out to Liam Miller, he continued his run, and then he had a classy finish for his 30th goal for Canada. And that's the thing, I think when David is thriving is where you're going to see him do that. He does it with Lille as well, as he goes into these positions, he finds a nice outlet pass, he turns nicely, makes a pass, continues that run, and then he's just deadly in the box. I thought he was lively all match. I thought if we were going to find that winning goal, I had a feeling it was going to come through David. It was great to see. And now David, similar to Cyle, have 30 goals for Canada. For my fourth takeaway, we are going to focus on 2 players who I think deserve a little bit of love, and that is Larin and Liam Miller. Now, Larin was a player who has not scored for Canada since March. He struggled for a while with his club, but he did find a little bit of form from Mallorca leading into this camp. And I said it was actually the first time in a while where Jonathan David and Larin were coming into this camp feeling very good. And the goal he scored was so wonderfully taken. The press was excellent to win the ball back. Ali Ahmed deserves a big shout out for that ball. Very clever, good heads up play. But the way Larin opened his body up and found the back of the net reminded me of the days when he was playing for Besiktas, scoring for fun, was full of confidence because it was such a well-taken goal. It was great seeing him finally get his 30th goal, which was then quickly matched by Jonathan David. It will be fun to watch those two continue to battle it out for Canada's all-time leading goal scorer. And then Liam Miller, a player when it comes to the final third. We know he's dangerous, he can create chances, but that final ball just sometimes can be off. So I like the way he actually got an assist today instead of a goal. David did well to find him, and I thought Liam did an excellent job to keep his composure, pick out that pass, and it's a really good assist for Jonathan David to put in the back of the net to get the winning goal. Miller's lively. I think this will go a long way for him because his club form right now at Hull City is really good. He scored a couple goals against CF Montreal in that closed door friendly, so the fact that he got an assist right now will probably give him a big confidence boost to continue to battle Schaffelberg for that starting role in the left-hand side. For my fifth and final takeaway, I want to focus on the mentality of Jesse Marsch and this Canadian side because this was a very frustrating game to watch. It was probably a very frustrating game to play, and at times in that second half, it looked like Canada were going to let it slip away from them. The goal came from a turnover, which is a difficult goal to concede. It's 1-1. It would have been so easy for those heads to drop, the frustrations to creep in even more, and maybe not even be able to hold on to the draw. But they found a way to catch their composure. They created chances. They know they have dangerous players on the pitch, and they ended up finding the winning goal. And at the end of the day, it does come down to whether you can win these type of games. And it's a friendly, but we know that it could matter when it comes to Nations League seedings with the quarterfinals, the semifinals. So it's an important game to win. They found a way, and you saw what it meant to the players, to the fans. The drum at the end, Bombito was the one doing it because everyone recognized he had such a phenomenal performance. It was really great to see. There's definitely the brotherhood still there in Jesse Marsch. We'll definitely want to rewatch this game a few times and pick up on a few things, but I think he will be happy that his side found a way to win this match. Now let me know down in the comments section, do you agree with my 5 takeaways? What other takeaways did you have? And of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers, friends!